candidate and for promising to give $1,000 a month to every American adult, no strings attached. You like that, don't you? You're excited. Entrepreneur and Democratic candidate Andrew Yang is here for a campaign checkup to share what he thinks is the real future of medicine. Please welcome Democratic candidate for president, Andrew Yang. Thank you for being here. I thought you were going to crowd surf. Oh, my goodness. I got to make an announcement. Andrew just raised $10 million for your campaign.
Yes, thank you.
Exceeded a lot of people's expectations. I mean, this could actually happen. What is the path?
It's happening.
Yeah, what is the path to you beating the candidates who are leading the pack right now?
Well, the great thing is most Americans are just tuning in to the 2020 election now. I think there was one poll that said literally only 10% had decided and 90% had not. So our campaign is growing just as Americans are tuning in. And what we're saying is making sense to the American people, that we need to build an economy that actually works for us.
So I see you crowd surfing like you almost did with my audience there. I see you.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, yes, you were. This is you. There you are crowd surfing. But the best part was this dancing. He's got some moves. How do you keep your energy up? What is your health regime when you're on the road? Because you don't get to eat at home and pick your meals and cherry pick your beds and all the things most of us get to do.
The toughest part about running for president is definitely being away from your family, because I've got two young children at home. But I'd say second or third would be trying to stay healthy on the road. And we have a mutual friend, Daniel Lubetsky, who talked about how he had a hard time finding healthy food on the road.
This is a guy who found the Kind bars, by the way. Any of you who like the Kind bars?
So I have to say, I owe Daniel a great debt, because I must live on Kind bars on the trail. I probably eat like half a dozen a day. So thank you, Daniel.
Many of the Democratic candidates are considering releasing their medical records. You're young and seem healthy. Thanks. Are you generally healthy?
I am generally healthy, yes.
So why would you not want to release your records and just get ahead of everybody else? What's the thought behind that?
I mean, well, we'll release my medical records very shortly. In part, right now, we don't want to make it a political issue. I think that Americans right now are increasingly sensitive to the health of our candidates, and that's probably a good conversation for us to have.
You mentioned your family a second ago. Your older son is autistic, on the spectrum.
Yes.
And you've talked about that publicly, which I commend you for doing, because it's a challenge for so many families right now. What are the resources that you might be able to help families who have children with special needs obtain, especially if they have autism spectrum children?
I talk to parents around the country, and their struggles are heartbreaking very often, where they have a hard time figuring out that their child is on the autism spectrum, and then after they realize that they have a hard time getting resources from their school district. So in my mind, we have to federalize that set of resources and make it so that parents aren't on their own on an island fighting with school districts for resources that the school district may or may not have available for kids on the spectrum.
To take a step back.
To me, being neurologically atypical is the new normal, and we need to start recognizing that in our society.
If I can just take the big package of health care. You spend a lot of time studying our health care system. What is the #1 challenge you feel we have that you could fix if you were president?
The #1 challenge we have is an incentive problem, which is that our system is designed to maximize revenue and activity and not necessarily our health. And this isn't to say that doctors don't do great work every day, because they do, but unfortunately, right now, they wait until you're unwell, you show up, and they do something to fix you. And if there was a way that we could prevent you from getting to a point where you needed that operation or that doctor's visit, then that would be an enormous win for society. But the incentives right now are not there.
So how do you adjust that incentive? What's actually doable?
Well, we have some pilots in what's called value-added medicine, where people are trying to identify what actually keeps us healthier. And so if we can tie the incentives to community healthfulness and people staying out of the doctor's office, then that's a win. And that sounds far-fetched, but we can do that. This is one reason why I believe you do need public health care, because the government is better able to adjust the incentives in a way that the market right now will not.
So would you be in favor of Medicare for all?
I am for a public option that's available to all Americans, but I would not do away with private insurance.
So I'll brag on the fact that you were in the technology sector.
Yes.
And you were successful in that space. So there are some fantastic programs out there, like Microsoft, ShareCare, even Amazon have programs now that could dramatically change the efficiency and improve the quality of healthcare. How does the government support these initiatives, which I think ultimately will provide a coach in our hands, but only if all of us join up?
Yes, and only if the incentives are there. So first I want to go towards the negative. Right now we have a mental health crisis in this country, particularly among teenage girls, and that's tied to technology, where right now smartphone use and social media apps are actually directly tied to an increase in anxiety and depression among teenagers. So this is something, to me, that's a healthcare issue that we need to attack immediately.
So that's the negative. What's the plus?
So the plus. On the plus around technology, and you've worked in this space. So number one, telemedicine can help make healthcare available to rural areas and places that right now live in primary care deserts, and unfortunately that's a lot of the country. Number two, artificial intelligence and other software tools can improve diagnostics to a very, very high level. And in some instances, they've even outperformed human physicians in terms of being able to identify, for example, tumors on a film.
All right, we covered healthcare, but when we come back, we'll talk about your buzziest promise of all. One that got an applause earlier, $1,000 a month to every well-bodied, actually every American adult. Period.
Every American adult, that's right.
How does he think it's going to make you healthier? Stick around, you'll find out. Our campaign checkup with Democratic candidate Andrew Yang. One of his buzziest campaign promises is giving away $1,000 every month to every adult in this country. I mean, how's that going to improve their health?
How will it not improve their health, Dr. Oz? Because if you think about $1,000 a month means in the hands of Americans right now, it would mean healthier food, it would mean lower stress levels, it would mean more time spent with your kids, and we know we would use that money to make our families stronger and healthier. And it actually makes perfect sense when you think about it. If you imagine a society where all of us were getting $1,000 a month as a right of citizenship, then you would be able to breathe easier, and positive social indicators would go up, negative social indicators, including health, would go down.
What does this math button mean? It's obviously not arithmetic.
Yeah, it stands for Make America Think Harder, which is what we need to do right now. It's also the case that also one of our big campaign taglines is the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math.
Come on over here. Let's do a little math. All right.
Oh, my God.
Little math challenge for you, right? So some of my favorite foods out there, I know you eat healthy, right? The question here is, how many of these products could you buy for $1,000? Are you ready?
Oh, my gosh, this is fun.
How many bunches of kale for $1,000? Yell it out, what do you think? 493, someone said? We have a very smart audience, I should tell you.
They seem very smart. I'm going to say 250.
That's half, but it's close. 500.
Oh, no.
I said trust the woman. She yelled out the right answer.
I do need to trust you.
All right. We're going to do this again. How many, my favorite snack, I love nuts. What do you eat? You eat
almonds, a lot of almonds.
Almonds. That's why you like the Kind bars.
Yes, I get the almond-based Kind bars.
You ever soak them in water?
The Kind bars?
Yes. No, they're nuts.
No, I haven't done it. Does that improve them?
Soak your nuts in water. It really matters. All right.
Oh, he's a doctor.
How many pounds of walnuts for $1,000? What do you think, audience? 50. Show it to him, guys.
150.
140 pounds. Yes. You got that one. Oh, good.
I did some math.
He's good at math. And finally, for all the marbles. How many bottles of apple cider vinegar, which is the most common home remedy offered right now, for $1,000?
Oh my gosh, how much is apple cider vinegar in a bottle?
Audience, help him out now.
I'm gonna say it's $8 and it's 120 bottles.
You got it right again. I'll toast you. It's 130 bottles.
That's pretty good.
You are a very good mathematician. Toast. It has been a pleasure having you on. He's healthier already. Andrew Yang, wonderful candidate. Pay attention to some of the things he's saying. Listen, the vote is up to you. It's the power of change. It's the power of you. One person, one voice, speaking the truth. So look around, pick someone you love, and vote for them. Goodbye, everybody.
For watching. We hope you enjoyed, and before we go, I want to give a huge thank you to all of our God tier patrons over on Patreon.
Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah, yeah.